The energy coming through right now is of somebody who is hoping that you don't judge them based on the fact that you have now reached an access point inside of them that has touched upon some raw nerve endings as far as fears of love are concerned. It feels like this is a very strong person who is stilling very consciously and very actively their urge to run. And there's a sense of almost hoping that you are able to feel beyond the stillness, feel beyond kind of the fact that they have just stopped in their tracks. They are still with you, they are still focused on you, but there's almost the sense of kind of like, this is the threshold of everything I have come to understand as far as the ways in which love can be an injuring thing. And so I hope that you are that guide who can help me beyond that place into the experience of growing with you into the knowledge of love as a supportive force, as something which is not just there on the days and moments when things are easy or when things are good, but at those times of vulnerability, that there is also that interest and that connectiveness between two people. Because it feels like this is somebody that has experienced like heartbreak after heartbreak in the past of people giving up on them lifting other people up or being there in times of trouble for others, but when it was their moment to kind of need sort of a safe place to land, they found themselves very much alone. This is also something where this person, it feels like, has done as much as they could to kind of heal disappointments and heartbreaks of the past, but a lot of that was kind of just stuffed inside and they just carried forward. And so now that there's this opportunity with you to experience something very different, kind of like a next chapter as far as what love and romance can hold for them in this lifetime, there's this essence of like, this is the territory that I didn't want to get into, and yet we have to cross through this difficult terrain. You have to feel into, and I will communicate as much as I can, of the nature of sort of the wreckage that is still left inside, the broken shards of versions of my heart that had been shattered by my own kind of mistakes and by letting the wrong people in too close in the past, that still exist within me, that I'm hoping that the experience with the two of us can serve to put more of my focus beyond all the energy that has been expended avoiding looking at this aspect within them, this deep desire for love and partnership, but a deep fear of a self-fulfilling prophecy or history repeating itself, like their experiences as far as broken love, wounding love in the past, that has kind of kept them at a distance from allowing new people in, or really believing that there's something different or something more for them in this lifetime other than the series of disappointments that they've known. So this is a time where this person, it feels like, is really needing to lean upon you. They're needing you to read into their silence and not take it as something where this is like the end of the road for the two of you, but this is almost where you take over, where you take the lead forward and either hold space for them or show them the way, maybe even kind of energetically, silently in meditation. This is where that connecting to the higher selves in a very conscious way comes into play, so that energetically speaking, this person can sort of move beyond whatever has been triggered in terms of the sense of like, I want so much more with you and I sense so much more as possible. And yet here is this quadrant of who I am, this place on the map of all that I am emotionally speaking, that is the minefield of all the wreckage of my past, romantically speaking. And you have to be aware of that, the terrain of that, the nature of that, the feel of that, energetically speaking, if we are able to kind of move beyond that, or if I'm able to like allow you to sort of show me that there's something more to love than just everything I've experienced before that still carries like the energetic stain of hurt with it. And it feels like this is something where this is this person's kind of effort in a way of sort of like, I'm showing you or letting you feel into these aspects within me, this very desolate place, this very sharp place within me, in the hopes that you will then feel comfortable in allowing me to access that element within you from a non-judgmental place, so that we come to the understanding of like wounds that have not been able to heal, that we've not been able to heal on our own, or that still exist, so that we can kiss those things better through the conscious effort to focus our involvement with one another moving forward on kind of building something that is completely opposite, completely oppositional to all of that wreckage that we each still hold inside. So you have unmarked trail, revelation. So it feels like this person is wanting to have like a very honest conversation with you, not just kind of make you sort of intuit these things or feel into these things, but this is almost something where it's like they want to address certain kind of fears about vulnerability, fears about getting hurt again in love, that may have made them kind of take steps towards you and then sort of reach this place of a standstill. That they want you to know, again, that this is not the end of the road between the two of you, but this is just where travel becomes a little bit difficult. This is where trust is really involved. This is something that is a very narrow passageway forward. Not that this person doesn't consciously want more with you, but it's almost like there are these reflexes inside. There are these raw nerve endings. There are these memories which are still very vivid and still very much alive inside of them emotionally and in the heart space, of the times when they had given of themselves, they had trusted in love, they had trusted their heart to others with the hope that others would be a good caretaker for them, and they were let down, they were disappointed, they were decimated. And time has carried this person beyond those experiences, but that wreckage still exists. These are those tender places within where this is the sense of like, I want something more, but I don't want to be hurt again. I can't go through that again. But I'm afraid that even if I try to say I don't want that kind of hurt again, that this may just be the only thing that I keep stumbling into. It feels like this person's had a long history of disappointments, a lot of heartbreak or a lot of rejection recently. There's been very few experiences that have felt like they did the right thing, they made the right choices, they showed up in all the best ways, or, allowed people in who would be for their highest good. This may be somebody that's come out of a very long season of lessons, of kind of needing to familiarize themselves with the opposite of what love is, in preparation for this moment, this opportunity here and now, where you are in their life. This experience is happening. And so there's the ability to walk differently into this experience with you. And it feels like part of the way in which to sort of break that chain, break that kind of pattern, move towards something else, is to start to not just kind of keep this wreckage bottled up, to be ashamed of it, to be fearful that these kind of jagged edges will in some way puncture the possibilities between the two of you before they fully come into form. But this is almost a sense of like opening up to you about certain things as a means and a method of sort of like, this is kind of the outskirts of where my hope exists. And seeing you as almost like a harbinger of hope, like a messenger of hope, like a person who is in their life that they're like asking you, please show me a different experience of love than what I've known before. So again, this is like deep conversations that this person wants to have, or something they want to open up to you about, maybe even just something, energetically at this point in time, kind of like bearing their whole heart to you, not just the parts that are filled with like the warm anticipation of what can happen between the two of you, but almost like these are the parts of them that are totally parched, that are totally raw, that are completely wounded. This is where they need your love the most, or they need you to have this understanding of like, these aspects exist within me as well. This is the nature of that fear inside of me that has kept me at a distance from love, and is creating kind of the tone and the pace of steps that they take forward. Because it's only going through this kind of painful sea of memories that they are able to kind of reach this dry land of a new opportunity, a new exploration of something different, and what they hope that the two of you can create together. Yeah, we have dances on one foot, balancing act. So again, this person is like trying so hard not to push you away, not to recoil, not to shut their heart to this situation. You have opened this person's heart. This person has experienced and is going through like a heart chakra activation and upgrade, even as they are kind of just like standing very still with you, focused upon you very intently at this point in time. Like, I'm right here. I'm as open as I can be. And I might not be able to kind of profess all the feelings that you need, or do or say all the right things in this moment. But the greatest act of love that I can give you at this time is just letting you witness all of me, hoping that you'll see beyond the surface level, and you will use that beautiful intuitive sense about you, and you will feel in to what is kind of being presented. And this isn't to suggest kind of like let your imagination run wild and, roam off into that land of delusion and come to all sorts of conclusions that are not in like the basis of reality. If this is somebody that has ghosted you, or somebody that has just been playing like mind games with you over a period of time, then this probably isn't your reading. This is somebody, though, that it feels like you have an energetic connection with, you have a soul connection with, you've got a spiritual connection with, things that are acknowledged maybe openly between the two of you in that capacity. There's a lot of signs and synchronicities that have brought you to this point with this person. Or this is something where, again, at this stage in your journey, you're having to just sort of trust in that intuitive knowing and that higher self knowing that like you've come to know your own energy enough that you are able to identify this person's energy as co-creative with you and yet totally independent of you. And it is in that space that this person is standing very close to you at this time. They have pushed their consciousness and their energy and their soul right up to you, hoping that you will feel into that. You will see beyond the material. You will find ways to kiss that woundedness, or come to an understanding, an interpretation of like, this is where I'm at emotionally. This is what exists within. I've got all this capacity to love. I've got all this interest in loving you. But these are my fears. These are the hurts that I carry inside. And rather than punishing you for those things, rather than allowing those things to be limits, which create a circumstance where nothing blooms between the two of you, this is this person's way of kind of like showing up and hoping that you will take them as they are, that you will love them as they are, and that you will understand that they have pressed themselves so close to you energetically at this time because there's a sense of them kind of deferring to you, like, how do we move forward from this? Help me to move beyond this. Not like you have to fix this person's problems or, sew up those wounds for them, but this is almost somebody that is asking you to pour into them. This is their way of saying that I'm allowing you. I'm pleading with you. I'm asking you. I want you. And I'm hoping that you can feel into that, and that we can move forward in the material realm from this place, where this can indicate kind of like slower steps forward. This person may be getting ready to kind of like open up about something very big, take a next step with you in terms of like sharing certain things that can provide you with those confirmations that let you know that what you're feeling intuitively is consciously felt by them as well, and that there's an interest in moving forward in an actual partnership, honoring where they're at emotionally, hoping that you will, kind of open your energy for them to sort of feel into it in a similar sort of way, so that you have an understanding with one another of kind of like, yeah, there's this desire for something more, but then there's the reality of what we each have to work with at this time, the load that we carry inside our hearts, that it's not the responsibility of one another to sort of deal with that for each other. But there is an opportunity to start to fill into all of those different kind of experiences of something that is different from a love that hurts, different from a love that disappoints. And eventually that ratio will offset. Eventually that is something where there will be the experience of love as medicine, love as healing. And when this person is hoping that like to continue to walk forward with you from this place moving forward, that eventually when they dip into that heart space, the first thing they're going to be aware of isn't this kind of like minefield of the past wreckage, but it's going to be that profound abundance of everything beautiful that has been created on the other side of their ability and willingness to carry this hurt inside of them for as long as they have. Because now you have arrived into their life. You are in one another's lives. And there is now the chance and there is now the ability to finally write a different story as far as love is concerned. Yeah, we also have Will of the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. So again, this is something where this person really wants to alchemize the hurts of the past, the experiences of the past that had made them very wise through tough lessons as far as their weaknesses, their blind spots, their addictions, maybe like addiction to disappointment, addiction to settling, addiction to circumstances and people that reinforce like a lack mentality or like a negative view of self. And so they participated in connections, maybe people that were walking red flags or circumstances where they knew it wasn't in their highest good, but they stayed anyway. They got their heart broken, had no one but themselves to blame. Circumstances that were totally outside of their control, that were just unfair. Just negative things that happened that they've moved beyond, but still that trigger exists, that muscle memory exists within the heart space of the times where being vulnerable and choosing that path of love led to disappointment, and yet they've stayed on this road, or they've course corrected from a place of just being fine with themselves or, content in their own company, and they've chosen to step back on that path of love because they have encountered you. And this is somebody that right now is starting to kind of recognize or is moving through the process of crystallizing those wounds into wisdom, so that this isn't something where they just keep this all hidden and bottled up and end up hurting your feelings, or, keep this at a distance. Keep this opportunity with you as something that is always just in a place of wishing and never doing anything about it. Or kind of like making you sort of live up to unreasonable expectations because people in the past have let them down. This is somebody that doesn't want to make you feel that you are competing with this burden of disappointment and hurt inside of them. And so with all this blue in this card, this like throat chakra energy, this is the energy of somebody that wants to kind of bring that out in the open, wants to speak words of love into your connection, wants to speak life into your connection. But in order to do that in the fullest sense, it involves some kind of conversation of all the ways in which that path of love in the past was like a wrong road, or a road that led to hurt and disappointment, so that you are more educated on kind of this person's emotional nature at this point in time. But this isn't to present something of like, this is all that I can possibly be, take it or leave it. This is a sense of like, this is what I've been able to sort of do with these experiences up to this point in time. And now that you're here, how can we partner together to move beyond that? And this isn't just somebody that wants to kind of like, okay, fix me. I'm here. I've got these aspects within self. It's your job to kind of mend that inside of myself for me in ways I couldn't do up to this point in time. But this is somebody that's hoping like they can even sort of alchemize anything that has been sort of like a touchy situation between the two of you, or misunderstandings up to this point, with some kind of openness that lets you know there's more progress for them beyond this version of self. But they also want you to feel comfortable opening up about your vulnerabilities as well, allowing this person to lead you beyond that threshold where you have healed from disappointments and romance in the past as best as you can. And that the next phase, or to bring that healing full circle, it requires the participation of another person who isn't going to put you through the same things people before did, or that you put yourself through because you needed to learn lessons, or you made bad choices, or you didn't listen to your instinct and intuition. So this is somebody that is very interested in growing with you as a person. This is like a couples activity now, of sort of like, okay, it's good when the times are really good, but it feels right for this person, or maybe it's necessary because you just reached that place in your journey with one another, for the two of you to really hold each other through this process, lead each other through this process, and be led by one another through this process of taking this abundance of desire within each of you, this profound connection in the material world, and this hope of what the future can have for this circumstance, and to use that to kind of build a road forward beyond that place where a beautiful love, a high vibrational love, a love that doesn't wound, has always up to this point in time just been a distant point on the horizon. This person sees that with you by their side, the two of you working together, it is possible to reach that in the here and now, and to create that reality of what happily ever after will look like for the two of you in your own unique way. Like, to start doing that very actively in the here and now. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.